Hello, good morning, all of the participants in today's debate. Today's motion is this house believe that the tourism industry does more harm than good for the developing country. Okay, before we start the today's debate, let me read the rules. And the first rules is each speaker have a limited 7 minutes to deliver her argument. The second rules is POI is allowed within 15 seconds. And for all the audience, please be quiet while this debate is already started. Okay, I would like to introduce from each team. From the government team, there are Aisa as the first speaker, Estalia as the second speaker, Mesa as the third speaker. From the opposition team, there are Renita as the first speaker, Puspa as the second speaker, Amanda as the third speaker. Okay, without any further ado, please welcome the first speaker from government team.
Speech in 3, 2. So, good morning to the respected speakers, honorable judges, member of the opposition team, and members of the government team. Before we put forward our case today, I would like to define today's scenario. This house believes that the tourism industry does more harm than good for the public. We're spending time away from home for pleasure, relaxation, and recreation while utilizing the commercial supply of the services is known as tourism. Generally speaking, a developing country is not one whose industrial or and economical development is still in its early stage of maturity. The shortcoming cause social, political, economic, and environmental challenges that seriously affect the nation's standard of living, either directly or indirectly. As a government team, we believe that the tourism industry does not does more harm than good for developing countries. We can clearly see the bad impact of the tourism industry for developing countries through some aspects that are really important to developing a country. Let's take a place in Indonesia. According to Badan Statistik Indonesia, in April 2024, international visitor arrivals in Indonesia were 1.7 million. International visitors increased by 2.41% compared with March 2024 and 33.53% compared with April 2024. April 2023, sorry. And international visitor arrivals in April 2024 were dominated by Malaysian, Australia, and Chinese. At the same time, with that many people come to Indonesia, we also experience the bad impact from the tourism industry in social aspect, economic aspect, and moreover in the environmental aspect that I will elaborate in my argument. As the government, instead of focusing more in tourism industry, which has done more harm than good, we should improve the industry of tourism and stop being too focused in it and more focus on the other industry that bring more beneficial for the developing countries. And welcome to my argument. I will deliver why we should focus on the other industry instead of focusing in the tourism industry from the harm or bad effect of tourism industry that I have separated them into 3 points. First, according to the definition of developing country, which is a country where industrial and or economical development is still in its early stage to the maturity, the tourism industry in Indonesia now is indeed bring significant economic benefits to both host countries and tourist home countries. One of the primary motivations for a country to promote itself is a tourism destination is the expected economic improvement. But in fact, we know that as the popularity of tourism increases dramatically, the prices of property and residence cities around tourist destination tend to rise. This can lead to a social divide between underprivileged locals and investors who profit from the tourist sector. And second, according to the status quo of the tourism of Indonesia that I have explained before, in which many international tourists that come to spend their time in here, and Indonesia also have many local tourists. With this condition and many tourist spots, but lack of sanitation facilities do damage to ecosystem. An increase in the number of tourists often has a negative impact on the environment, like activities such as damage coral reef tapestry, plastic waste, evaporating rivers and the beach, and forest destruction due to the overdevelopment are frequent phenomena in some tourist spots in Indonesia. Lastly, while tourism can be called amazing cultural heritage, it often happens the other way as well, which is the exploitation of the culture for the sake of tourism. Of course, this will have a negative impact on cultural development. This often occurs due to the commercialization of culture in tourism. That means functioning cultural areas such as art, historical places, customs, and monuments beyond their main function for the sake of tourism. This is a problem faced as well as a challenge in the development of cultural tourism. In that case, Indonesia's rich traditions are in danger of being threatened. As tourism takes center stage, traditional practices can fade into obscurity. The lure of modernization and economic opportunities can draw younger generation away from their cultural roots, leading to the loss of long-respected customs. And then to the motion, which is possibly that the tourism industry does more harm than good for the developing countries. After explaining the harm of the tourism industry as a government team, we want to emphasize that what is the point of a developing country prioritizing the tourism industry that give more harms on important aspects of a country, especially on the citizen and the environment. So we broadly propose a solution to improve the tourism industry and focus more on the industries that are more beneficial to the citizen, environment, and the developing country itself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for delivering your argument, Aisha. And now this will come from the opposition team, Renita as the first speaker.
Okay, I will open my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, honorable judges and all debaters. Here I ask the first speaker of the opposition team will respond to the arguments of the first speaker of the government team and then explain the arguments of our team as the opposition. We strongly disagree with the arguments presented by the government team. Why? First of all, the first speaker said that the tourism industry has more harmful in social, economic, and environmental effects than good for developing countries. The statement is very wrong because the government itself mentioned that international visitors or tourist arrivals in Indonesia are increasing significantly every year. This obviously shows that the tourism industry in Indonesia is very good and successful and also can help developing countries like Indonesia. I will explain later how it can help. Second of all, the government team argues that there will be a social divide for locals because of price increase around tourist destination. Actually, the price of property or land around tourist destination is expensive because it has already gone through many considerations such as strategic location and good accessibility. This is something that doesn't need to be debated regarding its high price because based on standard economic law, without intervention, if demand is higher than supply, then price will increase from both seller and buyers. We as the opposition team strongly disagree with the argument by the government team to stop the focus of developing countries on the tourism industry in Indonesia. Once again, developing countries are countries where industrial and economic development is still at early stage, which means that the industrial and economic sectors need to be supported to develop the country. How is it possible to reject the tourism industry to be developed further when it is very helpful to encourage progress in a developing country? The tourism industry is actually beneficial for developing country. Why? According to the Liputan6 website, the tourism industry is one of the three largest contributors to foreign exchange besides oil and gas. As we know, foreign exchange is very useful because it can be used and help in several ways, such as paying for imports, paying interest and installment of foreign debt, and the third is intervene to stabilize the currency exchange rate. So therefore, if the government can argue that the tourism industry has many harmful impact on developing countries, it's totally wrong. In fact, many countries develop and become bigger because of the tourism industry. Help to improve the country economy, which is one of the aspects that must be supported for Indonesia, as it happens in other developing countries in the world. Here are the reasons why we should support the tourism industry for developing countries like our home Indonesia. First, I will emphasize again to make the developing countries more advanced. The most important thing is progress in economic field. And this tourism industry is the most effective way to improve a country's economy. How? I will explain in the second reason. Second, Indonesia has a lot of natural and cultural beauty that has the potential to be used as tourism. I mean like the condition of this earth, especially in Indonesia, which provides this beauty, so we don't need to job to develop it because this is also one of the right steps for Indonesia to introduce the beauty. You have to advance the Indonesian state through the tourism industry. And the third, the result of economic progress from the tourism industry can be said to be distributed evenly throughout Indonesia. However, the concern is the result of economic progress that can help foreign exchange for the Indonesian state. Of course, the result and the effect of foreign exchange can be evenly distributed throughout Indonesia. Proud to be in opposition.
For the first speaker from opposition team. Okay, let's continue to the second speaker from government team. Estalia, please welcome.
Honorable judges and member of the opposition team, as the Deputy Prime Minister, I strongly agree with the motion that the tourist industry does more harm than good for developing countries. First, I will rebuttal the argument presented by the leader of opposition, and second, I will elaborate on the arguments presented by my Prime Minister and give more evidence in the current condition, which are A. Economic inequality, B. Environmental degradation, and C. Cultural over-exploitation. First is rebuttal. The government team strongly support the motion that the tourism industry has harmful impact on the developing countries. The opposition team says that Indonesia's tourism makes huge contributions to the country's economy. It needs to be highlighted that the process of developing countries will never be separated from the role of its own citizens. From the statement given by the opposition team, we as the government team strongly disagree and refuse the statement. Here are my points regarding the opposition team. The first is, in fact, the tourism industry that is developing today cannot be separated from the role of foreign companies. The tourist industry is often dominated by large corporations and foreigner investors who earn most of the profits. On the other hand, the local communities have to cover the cost of infrastructure development, environmental degradation, economic inequality, and also the cultural exploitation, which I will elaborate more in my presentation. Second, the tourist industry is also an industry that highly depends on the natural conditions, health crisis, and economic downturns. The leader of opposition failed to anticipate these dangers of tourism. Let's see what happened when COVID-19 strikes. The area that has been depend on the tourism industry are struggling to survive and reduce income. The opposition team says that developing countries need to support the tourism industry. This is the case in Indonesia, where the tourism industry is one of the biggest contributions besides gas. Then, in fact, it is very dangerous and harmful when a country depending on the tourism income. When the tourism industry is forced to stop, like when COVID-19 happened, the people who live in the tourism area will be suffer a lot. And the third, tourists also tend to look for new or unique things when they travel. For example, when a tourist spot is already overexploited, if the tourist trend changes and the tourist spot is no longer attractive, there will be a fall in visitors and income. For this, the government strongly believes that tourism as the most contributed aspect for the country would bring harm to the country itself and also the citizen. Come to my arguments. The first is economic inequality. I will focus on the danger of over-dependence, like I said before when COVID-19 started. On the tourism industry, some tourist destinations have become highly dependent on the tourist industry for their living. This makes tourists very sensitive to change in tourist demand. This is an industry that is easily influenced by many things such as place, lifestyle, health crisis, energy availability, and something like that. If this factor disrupts tourism, then people who live there will suffer. Second, the increase in inflation and land value. The presence of tourists in a developing country over the potential for a positive outcome. However, there are other possibilities that bring local communities into harm and consequences, such as the risk of the tourists can buy the land in the tourist area with high prices, which will threaten the original local community, which the price in tourist destinations areas has multiplied because tourists are able to buy at higher prices, and the community also has to spend more to get their needs. And also increase the frequency of import, which is the providers of tourism tend to be more important products and services that will be fulfilling the needs of those tourism. Second point is environmental degradation. For example, in Tidung Island, Kepulauan Seribu, a popular tourist destination has been experienced significant changes and harmful effects from tourists. The high demand of accommodation facilities has led to the construction of large-scale homestay and destroying the island green open spaces and destroying its beauty, which is also harming the environment around the area. The second is cultural exploitation. The opposition only focused on how much money the tourism can make and not realizing that the harm from the culture itself. This is experienced in Bali as tourist destinations in Indonesia. The development of tourism can indeed foster cultural aspects such as art and customs in Bali. However, problems have also arisen due to the overexploitation of this aspect. For example, the emergence of various arts that we originally only perform for benefits of religious ceremonies need to be performed for the sake of tourism. The same applies to the use of culture in tourism because there is a change or addition functions other than its main function. Therefore, this is an image of culture of tourism. This means that culture is heavily exploited for the sake of tourism promotion material without any effort to maintain and conserve it. Many tourist attractions are now disorganized due to the limited maintenance funds. One concrete example is Subang Museum in Tabanan, Bali. This museum is very valuable Balinese cultural asset. Unfortunately, the museum had ceased to be just a memory. Now, we as the government will give a solution. The first, they need to prove that tourism brings more goods than harm to the country. We provide sustainable tourism, which is developing countries should adopt sustainable tourism practice, which include promoting responsible tourism and also focus on local communities by promoting local artisans and focus in the local products instead of international products. And also we need to focus on the harm that will be impacted to the local original communities, then monetizing the culture and also the environment. Second, economic diversity. The developing countries should strive to diversify their economies and reduce their dependence on the tourism sector. First is by investing in the economic sector such as agriculture, technology, and manufacturing. Back to the definitions of tourism that has been conveyed by my Prime Minister that people who do this include fulfilling territory needs. In a developing country, there are secondary needs that can be met through the development of the agricultural sector, technology, and manufacturing. And second is providing training and education for local residents to work in those sectors besides tourism, like I said before, which is agriculture, technology, and manufacture. And these motions we propose as the government in its tourist industry being harmed in the developing country. That's why we proudly support the motions and this debate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much from the second speaker from government team. Please wait a minute. Let me write down.
I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. I disagree with the government about the negative impact of tourism for developing countries.
While three are some challenges to be managed, the benefit far outweigh the potential negative impact if it's well regulated and sustainable developed. First, the economic impact is not just limited to revenue and job creation for large companies. Tourism provides critical income opportunity for local community through small business. For example, in Bali, many residents open homestay business, food stall, accommodation rental, tour guides, and style handicraft for tourists. This income is directly reinvested into the community. Well-managed tourism can be one of the most effective poverty alleviation tools. Second, tourists fund environmental conservation effort. In Komodo National Park, for example, the sale of entrance ticket for tourists is used to preserve the habitat. If there is not tourism, it is difficult to find fund for conservation. Third, tourism preserves culture. In Tanah Toraja, traditional rituals are preserved because they become popular tourist attraction. Local people are proud to introduce their culture to the world. Of course, there are challenges such as waste and natural damage if tourism is not managed well. However, the answer is not to stop tourism, but to manage it wisely, such as limiting the number of tourists, using the concept of ecotourism, and involving local communities. As my first speaker said, the industry in Indonesia makes a significant contribution to the economy, contributing a large amount of foreign exchange and indirectly creating jobs, reducing unemployment and improving the welfare of community. The Ministry of Tourism also report increase in foreign tourists every year, which show that tourism has a significant positive impact. I will take this opportunity to explain clearly why the tourism industry actually brings more benefit than harm to developing countries, especially in terms of preserving and empowering cultural heritage. The three main points I will make are: firstly, cultural tourism helps document, revitalize, and preserve endangered tradition in remote area of developing countries. 2021 study across Indonesia found that without the economic incentive, tourism provided local communities, traditional like ikat weaving, traditional weaving, and regional handcraft may have disappeared. Tourism is an important driving force for reviving and sustaining cultural heritage practice. Secondly, tourism has helped revive pride and appreciation for local cultures worldwide. In Wamena, Papua, Indonesia, tourists encourage the Dani people to celebrate abundant tradition like what dance, ritual, and many meaningful traditional clothing. In 2019, UN reports show tourism similarly revived culture pride among the Sumba tribe in East Indonesia, whose cultural identity was fading. Thirdly, tourism provides crucial funding for conserving cultural heritage sites in developing countries. In Indonesia, revenue from Komodo National Park tourism support protecting community Komodo dragon and preserving Manggarai tradition. In Cambodia, Angkor Wat tourist revenue contribute 28% of the city's 2017 perception budget. While risk exists, with proper regulation, community involvement, and sustainable practice, tourism can preserve developing nation cultural wealth. It revives their existing tradition, provide heritage conservation, fund, and enable economic progress without losing national identity. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for second speaker from opposition team. Now, please welcome the third speaker from government team.
Okay, I'll start my speech. 3, 2, 1. To begin with, I would like to briefly summarize the main arguments presented by my team and explain why my team has won this debate. But first of all, I will review the opposing team's arguments. The second speaker of opposition failed to rebuttal, and the opposing team has argued that while there are some challenges to be managed, the benefits far outweigh the potential negative impacts if it's well regulated and sustainability developed. However, I believe that this argument is flawed for some reason, because the tourism only has good impact and is far from negative if it's well regulated, and their opposition teams recognize the word if, which means that in this developing country, tourism is not yet well regulated and not sustainability developed. Furthermore, the opposition team has also argued that tourism provides critical income opportunities for local communities through small businesses, and giving an example that in Bali, many residents open homestay businesses, food stall, accommodation, rentals, etc. Once again, I believe that within this argument by the opposing team, it is to reflect back on how tourists would buy large tracts of land in Bali and then develop them without regard for local zoning laws or environmental concern for foreigners who suddenly dominate local businesses. There, instead, they are of becoming surfing coaches, motorcycle riding training businesses, tour guides that they even build. They're just capitalized on their tourist visas and don't even have resident visas. In fact, there are not a few foreigners who do the same business and work illegally here because they see the opportunities that the Indonesian currency is lower than their home country, and yes, because it is cheap. So finally, these foreigners feel comfortable staying, and from there, it creates a sense of excessive ownership from themselves. Then I will summarize the debate and define what the causes and the main issues of this debate. Throughout this debate, we have seen that both sides have already presented strong arguments. The opposing team has highlighted the economic benefits of the tourism industry, such as revenue and job creation, as well as its roles in preserving cultural heritage and supporting environmental conservation efforts. However, we believe that these benefits are overshadowed by the negative impacts of the tourism industry on developing countries. For example, the government team has pointed out that the tourism industry often leads to economic inequality, environmental degradation, and cultural exploitation. They argue that the industry is over-dependent on foreign companies and investors, leading to unequal distribution of benefits. Additionally, the industry is at risk of external factors such as unforeseen factors like COVID-19 health crisis and economic downturn, which can have an adverse impact on local communities. Furthermore, the government team emphasized that the tourism industry is not the only way to develop a country's economy. They propose that developing countries should diversify their economy by investing in other sectors such as agriculture, technology, and manufacturing. This approach would reduce the country's dependence on the country's industry and make it more resilient to external shock. Next, to strengthen from what my first and second speaker has explained earlier, I will elaborate more example on one of their points. The first one, environmental degradation. Additionally, the island that has experienced a change in coral reefs due to high tourism activities such as mass snorkeling, which is carried out without proper regulation and lack of insight from tourists and guides. Second, cultural exploitation. Cited from a news shelter BaliPost.com, Inyoman Gede Mahaputra said that Bali tourism seems to grow wildly because it always goes through a re-entry process. He stated that Bali tourism is always experiencing continuous re-entry process, trying to create a new things. As a result, the construction of tourism accommodation facilities has spread everywhere. It is never clear that what is the focus of development. In the past, tourism development was carried out in the certain areas such as Nusa Dua, Kuta, Sanur, and Ubud. But now it is expanding everywhere as if without control. Based on this fact, it can be seen that tourism has a harmful impact on the local population in developing countries. In the future, there will be no more Balinese original community areas because every area is turning into a tourist spot. The original areas will become tourist attraction, no longer natural areas where indigenous communities socialize, culture, and interact. And I will summarize the government case. The government team present three main arguments. The first one, economic inequality. The tourism industry can lead to increased income inequality as tourists often earn more than local, and the industry is dominated by foreign companies. Second, environmental degradation. The tourism industry can lead to environmental degradation due to overdevelopment, deforestation, and waste management issues. The last one, cultural offer exploitation. The tourism industry can lead to cultural offer exploitation as local custom and tradition are commercialized for the benefit of the tourists. And we ask the government to propose a solution to improve the tourism industry and focus on the other industries that are more beneficial to the citizen, the environment, and the developing countries itself by adopting this sustainability tourism practice and promoting economic diversity and investing in other sectors such as agriculture, technology, and marketing. With all that reason, we would like to propose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much from the first speaker from government team. And now please welcome the third speaker from opposition team.
I'm the speaker of the opposition team and I'm here to justify the opposition and explain why the opposition side has so many to do. First, I'm going to summarize what my team has explained. And there are several advantages to tourism in developing nations, such as increased economic growth, the creation of jobs, environmental protection, and cultural preservation. Small business owners in the area benefit financially from tourism, which also helps to reduce poverty and raises money for conservation initiatives. But issues like garbage and reduce poverty and raises money for conservation initiative. Furthermore, we contend that tourism might serve as a spur for money conservation initiative, promoting pride in regional customs and protecting cultural assets. Additionally, the development of infrastructure such as roads, airports, ports, and other supporting facilities is encouraged by tourism in a number of popular tourist locations. This helps locals in the long run and makes it easier for tourists to access the area. As the opposing side, we contend that Indonesia tourism sector benefits the developing nation more than it harms them. That the growing number of foreign visitors to Indonesia demonstrates the industry ability to benefit the nation. And additionally, while local profits from this activity, we contend that growing costs near the tourist site do not contribute to social inequality. The opposing side disagrees, claiming that the tourism sector supports the developing nation by generating foreign cash and providing support in a number of ways, including paying for imports, interest, and maintaining stable exchange rates. Additionally, we think that as it has done so effectively in other developing nations, the tourism sector ought to be encouraged
to spur advancement and growth in those seven nations. Right now, I will read the government statement. They argue that the tourist attractions are often short-term as they are crowded during the holiday season and exist every week. To manage this attraction effectively, it is crucial to avoid financial losses during the dry season. And additionally, many tourists are easily bored and seek for the new experiences. However, there are still many tourist attractions in Indonesia, such as Ujung Kulon Nasional, Raja Ampat, or Borobudur Temple. This kind of tourist attraction cannot be appeared because it is a natural culture from the country. And we know that the beauty of Indonesian natural beauty is enough to attract visitors and maintain a positive tourist experience. And we, as the opposition side, disagree with the opinion that tourist attractions are only short term. And next, I will elaborate more from my first and second speakers from the argument. Then, as mentioned by the first speaker from our team, that the tourism industry can help to develop the country from the economic factor. This can be proven by the assistance of jobs because the tourism industry, in fact, Sandiaga Uno, the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, has called in communities and tourism village managers to harness the potential of their natural resources and creative economy through innovation and tourism products. These innovations could include ecotourism nature base, which will become mainstream in the tourism industry. Sandiaga emphasized the need for collaboration between all participants to create a wide-ranging employment opportunities, such as a sector has more than 6 times the power of the sector. And as my second speaker mentioned that earlier about the culture of the country, which can be sustainable and a factor in the development of the country, the previously second speaker government said that they have a solution for us and talk about the sustainable industry, which means the argument from us is also true and valid. The Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Kemenparekraf, launched the development of tourism industry, referring to the concept of sustainable tourism. By definition, sustainable tourism is a tourism that pays attention to environmental, social, and cultural. The Kemenparekraf imposes guidelines in the development of tourism destination management, economic utilization for local communities, cultural preservation for communities and visitors. And with the argument that I have done for you, once again I emphasize that we from the opposition team do not agree with the motion because we think tourism is the country that very helpful in developing the country in the world development. For to be
Okay, thank you very much for all of the speaker in today's debate. Okay, now please welcome opposition team to deliver their reply speech.
Thank you. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. I will deliver a reply as closing today's debate. From the opposition team, we still hold that the tourism industry provides more benefit than harm for developing countries like Indonesia. Tourism provides many economic benefits such as foreign exchange, earnings, job creation, local small business development, and funding for environmental and cultural conservation efforts. Although there are challenges such as waste and natural damage if not managed properly, the answer is not to stop tourism, but to manage it wisely with the concept of ecotourism, limit the number of tourists, and involve local communities. I really disagree with the government team because with proper regulation and sustainable tourism practice, the benefit of tourism will outweigh the disadvantage. Lastly, to make a developing country more advanced, the most important thing is progress in economic field, especially tourism industry. It's very effective to improve developing country. Thank you for your attention. Proud to be in position team.
Thank you very much, second speaker from opposition team. Now, please welcome the government team to deliver their reply speech.
Okay, thank you, judges, and I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1.
We as the government team proudly support the motion by giving the strong argument and solutions for the developing countries, and here is the reason why we should win this debate. First, the opposite team failed to provide example of what developing countries would experience if they did not utilize tourism. By not stating this, the opposite team's argument is not proof that tourism has a good impact on developing countries. Second, the opposition team only emphasized that the tourism industry brings many economic impact to the developing countries. This is only proves that the opposition team only thinks about material benefits and only provides solution for natural damage and does not provide solution treat for culture and economic condition. Also, something that harm the citizen from tourism activities that occur in many developing countries such as Indonesia. With this, the government is better, and the opposition team cannot win this debate. Third, the opposition team is failed to anticipate the economic condition in this developing country if they more depend on the tourism. And then we have a confidence to win this debate because our argument more strong than the opposition. That first we provide the harm of tourism industry in various aspects that are very crucial and important to a developing country. We also think more deeply and explain briefly the danger of being to depend on tourism industry can make a developing country threatened. And we also provide and explain clear about the solution that bring more benefits to a developing countries. That opposition team argument do not have a strong enough to oppose that and failed to counter that. What are the meaning of for a country if its cultural identity is faded, environmental treatment, and the citizen life get harmed in every life aspect? And we as the government proud to support the motion and have confidence to win this debate.
Okay, thank you very much. The first speaker from government team. Now, I think we should give our elaboration about this debate.
Yes.
So it comes to you first, Yanto.
Okay, so I want to give some evaluation for the government team first. So the first one is the structure and clarity. Both Aisha and Estalia clearly state the motion and provide a structured outline of their arguments. Aisha defines key terms and establishes the context for the debate by focusing on Indonesia, a relevant example of a developing country. Estalia offers a brief overview of her points and explicitly states her role in rebutting the opposition and elaborating on the Prime Minister's arguments. Mesa summarizes the main points and offers rebuttals to the opposition's arguments, ensuring that the debate's narrative is maintained. The second is the argumentation and evidence. Aisha argues that tourism can increase property and basic necessity prices, leading to social inequality. She mentions the role of large corporations and foreign investors. The environmental impact, she provides examples of environmental degradation due to tourism, such as damaged coral reefs and increased plastic waste. The cultural impact is Aisha discusses the commercialization and potential loss of cultural heritage. And the evidence is Aisha references statistics from Badan Statistik Indonesia addressing credibility to her argument about the current state of tourism. And from Estalia, the economic inequality is she elaborates on the economic disparity caused by tourism, citing the negative impact on local communities and dependence on foreign companies. The environmental degradation is Estalia provides a case study from Tidung Island, is illustrating the environmental cost of tourism. The cultural overexploitation, she cites the example of Bali, where cultural elements are overexploited for tourism purposes, and the rebuttals is Estalia effectively counters the opposition points about economic benefits by highlighting the vulnerabilities exposed during crises like COVID-19. And for Mesa, the rebuttals of Mesa addresses the opposition's point on well-regulated tourism and the economic benefits to local communities. She argues that these benefits are conditional and not guaranteed in developing countries. Summarization. Mesa concisely summarizes her team's argument and reinforces the negative impacts of tourism. Evidence, she supports her rebuttals with examples of illegal business practices by foreigners in Bali, undermining the opposition's arguments about local economic benefits. The third one is engagement with opposition. All three speakers engage directly with the opposition's points. They provide well-reasoned rebuttals that address the core of the opposition's arguments, particularly around economic benefits and regulation. Estalia and Mesa effectively deconstructs the opposition's reliance on conditional benefits if tourism is well regulated and provide counterexamples to show how these conditions are not met in reality. Conclusions and solutions. Aisa concludes by emphasizing the need to focus on other industries that are more beneficial to developing countries. Estalia proposes sustainable tourism and economic diversification as solutions. Mesa reinforces the government's position and suggests that the opposition's reliance on conditional arguments weakens their case. And the overall, in fact, the pro is the government team presents a coherent and compelling case that the harms of tourism outweigh the benefits for developing countries. They use specific examples, credible evidence, and direct engagement with the opposition's point. The cons is the opposition's arguments, while acknowledging some benefits of tourism, fail to sufficiently counter the government's points about inequality, environmental degradation, and cultural loss. In summary, the government team effectively argued that the tourism industry does more harm than good for developing countries. Their structured approach, use of evidence, and robust rebuttals demonstrated a strong understanding of the motion and provided a persuasive case for their stance.
Okay, thank you, Yanto, for referring his elaboration. And now I will add some of my opinion from this debate. Okay, as the first speaker from government team, she delivered enough data as an evidence why tourism industry is bring more harm than good for the developing countries. She explained all the disadvantages for developing country from its fact. But as the opposition team, the first speaker, she countered with a news data and proving the data from government team is not right. She giving a new side and explaining an advantageous tourism in tourism industry within many aspects. But here we come, the second speaker from the government team giving more wider data to encounter the first speaker from opposition team. As an example, when she speak about Indonesia cannot offer depending on tourism industry, because there will be a moment that it will be a decreasing demand to tourism industry. She also explaining that tourism industry is also harming culture in Bali, like the museum that, for example, that already being a memory for us. Okay, here come the second speaker from the opposition team. She brings more side of the advantages from tourism industry. An example, she countered the argument from government team about social aspect to local in Bali. The second speaker giving a fact that foreigner also can be the one who's supporting all of the aspect from developing country. The third speaker from government team is good enough to emphasizing their team arguments that proving the opposition team is failing to counter their argument with a very good summarization. She is using cause and effect to support their team's arguments. Okay, the last one is the third speaker from opposition team. She also good to counter that the government team with a wider side of potential tourism industry to increase all of the aspect from developing country. Okay, now we will decide which team is the winner of this debate? Well, based on the evaluation, the okay.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
Don't be afraid.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, based on the evaluation, the winner of this debate is the opposition side. Here is why. Okay, I will explain why the opposition team win this debate is because first, they have a stronger rebuttals. The opposition effectively rebuts the government points, addressing the potential negative impacts of tourism with a practical solution and demonstrating how tourism can be managed to bring a substantial benefits. Second, concrete examples. The opposition uses specific and detailed examples. For example, Komodo National Park and Tanah Toraja to support their arguments and making their case more convincing. The last reason why they can be the winner from this debate is they have a balanced perspective. The opposition acknowledges the challenges associated with tourism but provides a balanced perspective by emphasizing sustainable practice and the significant positive impact of tourism on the economy, culture, and the environment. Okay, the opposition ability to present a well-rounded evidence-based argument that addresses both the benefits and potential drawbacks of tourism, along with a practical solution, make their case more compelling. Okay, thank you very much for doing this debate. Very good to us having a more insight of debating. Thank you very much once again.